Okay, I don't think we're gonna do anything for a while, so I'm just gonna make a video, or, well, I'm already making a video, but I maybe will just turn this video into something completely different from what it was gonna be. On my last video that I posted, like as of this video is being recorded, some great person commented that they wanted me to do like a story of my life, so might as well do it right now while I'm literally doing nothing because I'm stuck in traffic. Not even traffic, just I'm just parked on this freeway, highway. I don't even know the difference between a freeway and a highway. Oh, my mom's calling. Pause on my story of my life. Okay, I'm back. It's time for my life story. Like I said, I had a really great comment on my other video saying to do a story of my life. So while we're sitting here, I am going to kind of do like a brief overview, but it's not really gonna be that brief because I mean like it's gonna be my whole life, but you know, shortened a little bit. And so if you're interested in this video, that was not supposed to be this video, then let's get into it. So let's start off from the beginning. So I was born in Orlando, Florida, to my mom and dad, and I was their second child. My brother, oh, my lights were on that whole time. I have an older brother named Ryan, and he's 2 years older than me. So I was born 2 years after him, and we lived in Florida up until I was 4 and he was 6. There's not really much to document from that time just because I don't really remember a lot of it. Like I just remember like brief things here and there, but not much. And so after that, my parents got divorced and my mom decided to move to California. There was a job opportunity out there, and so she took me and Ryan and we moved to California. And you know, looking back, like that was probably really sad for my dad. My dad watches these videos, so I'm like, sorry Dad that we like moved so far away from you. But it definitely made an interesting life for me and Ryan because we got to go back and visit my dad. Like I think I remember going back like at least 4 times a year, which I feel like is a lot, you know, to go back, like to fly to Florida. And so my brother and I would literally fly, just us two, on the plane all the way back to Florida to go visit my dad. And like obviously there was like the flight attendants that would, you know, watch over us, but I just think that that's like so crazy and such like a cool experience that we literally got to like travel so much when we were so young. Because a lot of people, like a lot of my friends that I've met throughout the years, like they were like, I've never been on a plane before, and I was like, what? No way. Like, you know, because it was just part of our life. So it was just interesting that, you know, there's people who have different lives. So that was interesting. And definitely those times were like the best times ever when we would go visit my dad, because like obviously I didn't know this, but like he would get that time off from work so we could do a bunch of fun things. But I was just like, wow, Dad's life is just so cool. But yeah, so he would always like take off time from work and we would just go on the craziest adventures ever. Like they were like unplanned, but I didn't know that, you know, obviously. I just thought that they were just like, oh my gosh, this is just the best like vacation in the world. And I remember, I'm just gonna talk about a couple things from like Florida. I remember at one house that he lived at, there was a junkyard nearby, and literally like I would never do this now because I'm such like a worrier and I don't want to break the rules, but we literally, there's a guy looking at me talking, but whatever, it's fine. We literally would, he's staring at me now. Do you see him right there? Okay, anyways, he wanted to hear my story probably. We would literally break into that junkyard. Like we would hop the fence, or if the fence was open, we just walk in. And so those were like the coolest times ever. Like my dad wouldn't go with us, just saying, but like my brother and I, or like our like cousin people, or like just like our friends, like we would go into the junkyard. Like I remember like at least going 3 or 4 times. Like one time I had a flip camera and I like recorded like the whole like experience, but then like my camera died. But it was like the craziest times ever. And like there was a guy that lived there, and one time like he was mowing his lawn, and like we like were freaking out because we thought he was gonna come and get us, and so we like hopped the fence and like ran away. And I think that was the last time that we went in there. But just so many fun memories from Florida and visiting my dad and like going on vacation like to North Carolina with him and the family over there. So lots of great memories. Loved them all. I loved all the spontaneous things that we were just like, we would say something and my dad was like, oh yeah, you guys want to like pull over on the side of the road? Like, let's do it. And then we just like just do crazy things. So that was definitely really fun and definitely like made me part of like who I am, where I'm super down for like any adventure and like outdoorsy, because we would always go outdoors and stuff like that. But anyways, let's move on. What else is interesting in the beginning parts of my life? So like I said, we moved to California, you know, kind of grew up. We moved all over the place, I feel like. Probably not as much as a lot of other people, but I feel like it was, you know, a good amount. So we first moved to a city called Valencia, which is like kind of near LA area. And fun fact about that, I went to Bridgeport Elementary and I was really good friends with McKenna Lautner, whose brother is Taylor Lautner, who was in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, also Twilight and all that stuff. But I say Shark Boy and Lava Girl because while I was her friend, I remember her like wearing the Shark Boy and Lava Girl shirt, and she was like, yeah, my brother's in this movie, and I was in kindergarten, so I was like, I don't know, I don't care what you're talking about, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I don't even think I like really understood like famous people or whatever. But fun fact, fun memory, Taylor Lautner was in our talent show, and I remember that he did like all the cool like jumps and flips and stuff like that, and that everything he did, from like my knowledge, in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, like he legit did that because I saw him do it at the talent show. But yeah, I only remember living in Valencia for about 2 years because then we moved to Oceanside, California, which is closer to the beach, closer to San Diego area. And we lived there for longer, and we went to a Catholic school, which I was a fan of because it was like so like the classes were like less people in them, and like I just like, you know, having a group of people. And so like we were all friends, like everyone in the class was friends with each other. There was definitely like drama, like, oh, I like this boy but you like this boy, which I could go into whole story time on all that drama because I remember vividly. Yeah, so me and my brother both went to that school. I went from 2nd to 5th grade, and so he obviously went from 4th to 8th grade, right? No, 7th grade. Yeah, I don't know if the math makes sense, but he ended in 7th grade just because I remember we moved and I was in 6th, he was in 8th. So anyways, the reason why we moved, I'm pretty sure, was because at the Catholic school my brother had to cut his hair because you couldn't have hair longer than your collar because we had to wear uniforms. And so like I can probably find a picture and I'll insert his hair growth and like him during this era, because he was like obsessed with having long hair even though he looked like freaking Hannah Montana. Sorry, Ryan. But you know you looked weird. Like, why did you want to have long hair? I think it was like a fade, like a trend, or I don't know why. Maybe it was just his own thing. He wanted that hairstyle. I don't know. But yeah, he looked ridiculous, but he really wanted to have that long hair. And I think it was just more of he didn't want to be told what to do. So yeah, we moved and we stopped going to Catholic school and we moved to Temecula, California. And we started going, what are you doing? Anyways, we moved to Temecula, California. Like I said, I was in 6th grade, he was in 8th grade, so it was a little easier for me because, like, you know, it was kind of like a new school, but everyone was starting 6th grade, whereas like Ryan was in 8th grade, so everyone's kind of been together from 6th, 7th at that school. And so, I mean, that's just my take on it. I don't really know how Ryan, I mean, he was more popular than me, so he did well. His long hair got all the ladies. 6th through 8th grade, I think I've blocked out just because a lot also happened. Oh my God, I just, after elementary school, I just hate school, except for I like college. But yeah, so 6th through 8th grade, honestly, there was just like weird drama just because I was so weird and I just wanted to be friends with everyone. And so I was just being myself. And then I remember like in 6th grade, I was just trying to be friends with everyone, and so I would become friends with like the popular people, but not everyone in the popular group. Like, I would just have a class with one person who was in the popular group. And I just want to say this story because I just remember it vividly and like it really affected me, is that I invited, you know, all of my friends, which was a lot of people, like from different groups, to my birthday party. And I remember that one of the popular people left her, like, I'm saying popular, but obviously I wasn't like, I'm gonna be your friend because you're popular, but I'm just saying that. And so I remember she left something at my house, and so at school I returned it to her and I gave it to her, and then I like went back down to my backpack to zip it up, and I remember the other like people in the group were like, who was that? And then the girl like literally pretended like I was a weirdo and then I just gave her something that wasn't hers. Yeah, and so that really like bothered me, and I remember I like confronted her about it, and she was like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry, it's just that like they don't like you or something like that. I don't know, because there was drama about that. They thought I liked their boyfriend, and I was like, I don't even know your boyfriend, I just moved here. And then high school happened. Not really much to mention from there either, other than the fact that I guess there is a couple things that I'll mention from that time period. So high school time period was very interesting because a lot of the middle schools like in the area came together, and so there was a bunch of new people that like nobody really knew, you know. So like everyone was like, you know, branching out, having different classes, because our class was like 1,000 people, which for Washington, which I live now, like that's like maybe their entire school. Probably not though. Like I know Jackson, my boyfriend, I think he had like a class of like 50 to 100, I could be wrong, but really small. And so mine was like 1,000, and so all of my friends, because you know I had a bunch of friends that like I really liked, obviously, like a lot of them just stopped talking to me, and it could be because I was so weird. Like, I'm not kidding, like I'm a weirdo, and like I would just make random videos and like singing and like just be weird in myself, and like I guess that wasn't cool, I don't know. And so a lot of my friends, like I just lost literally all of them like over freshman year. Freshman year was the worst time for me, and I did make like obviously new friends throughout high school, and I have a couple of them. Yeah, the only friends that I have like that I made like from high school, like I'm still friends with them. And so yeah, I literally lost all of my middle school friends, like except for one, like I was still friends with her, and like, but I didn't really hang out with her freshman year. And so, you know, it's kind of finding your place, and like I could make a whole video. I wanted to make a whole video actually on like surviving high school, I think while I was in high school, or like, I don't know. But if anyone's interested in that, I definitely can go over like my experiences and like how I was feeling through that time, because high school really sucked for me. I only went for 2.5 years. That's because I graduated early because I hated it so much, and we can get into more on that. And then also I discovered that I had scoliosis during high school because I was trying out for the volleyball team, didn't make it. I don't know why, I'm so good. But yeah, and then I think I found out that I had scoliosis, and so then I got a scoliosis brace. And if anyone has scoliosis and had that freaking brace, I don't know if I have any pictures, but okay, so I don't know if you can tell. Let me see. I even forgot. I think this shoulder is higher than this shoulder. So I believe that there was like this freaking thing that went up here, and then there was like this bump over here. It was the ugliest thing ever. I had to wear it to school under my clothes. It was just not fun. And so I'm pretty sure that that brace, it like overcorrected. And then I got spondylolisthesis, which is like a slip disc. And then like I just had so much pain, and like it was really bad pain. Like, so one time at school, I like was after PE, because PE was terrible for me because like I had so much fun at it, but then afterwards like it would be a lot of pain, and so I would like go sit down like waiting for the bell for the next class, and one teacher came up to me and like yelled at me and was like, you have to go way over there and stand. And I was like, well, I'm in a lot of pain, like I'm just came over here to sit, like I'm not trying to leave early or anything. And he was just like yelling at me, and so then I started crying, and then I like limped my way to the nurse's office, and I was like, I have to leave. And then after that I got surgery for my spondylolisthesis, didn't really fix anything, and now I have fibromyalgia. That's just a random side fact if anyone cared. But yeah, anyways, so I was like homeschooled, what was it called? Home hospital first semester. And then I went back to school. I think I home hospitaled for 2 semesters, but not together, I'm pretty sure. And then I graduated early. I think that math, that's correct, but it's kind of been a while now. It's been for a little over 4 years. That was my high school experience. I don't really have much from that other than I dated my like first 2 real boyfriends through that, and I don't really care to talk about them. Sorry. And so yeah, that was high school. And I did move out with the second boyfriend, which was a horrible idea because he was not the best like human, and I don't know why I did that. And so then after that, I broke up with him like while we were still living together, and then I moved out. And luckily our lease wasn't a year, it was like a 9-month lease or something like that. And so like we broke up like 8 months into it, or 7.5 or something like that. And then I moved back home. And now we get into fun stuff, kind of fun stuff, I don't really know. I moved back home, and honestly I was really sad, but we don't really have to talk about all that because I was going through a breakup, you know, didn't really have any friends because of my relationship with that guy. And also from high school, I really only had like 3 friends because I lost them all, because high school is like a place where you like re-talk to people. In middle school, I guess, doesn't really matter for a lot of people. But I started going to college. I did really bad my first semester when I graduated early because I was in that relationship, and he wasn't going to, like, we were going to school together, and so like when he stopped, you know, like I kind of stopped too. And then I really didn't know what I wanted to do at that time because I always wanted to be a teacher, like from when I was in like before school, you know, like I would always play like teacher and stuff like that. But then like I just saw all these other jobs that you could do, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to do everything. So I didn't have a set major at that time. And so I was just taking a bunch of classes, and I feel like I never was really told how college works, really. So I was just like, oh yeah, give me whatever classes, I'll take them all. And so I took a lot of classes that I didn't need. But yeah, I was going to community college, and I was just not doing very well in classes. And then I was just kind of sad. And then I got another boyfriend, and he was interesting as well, and that led me down an interesting path. And honestly, like, I kind of attribute me to not doing what I really wanted to do, like from what I thought I wanted to do, like when I was in high school and stuff like that, to those relationships. Because when I get in a relationship, or when I used to get in relationships, I would just like hone in on my person and be like, we're gonna do whatever you want, like I'm gonna spend all my money on you, like I will make our life the best life ever. I was just living at home, going to community college, like focusing on this boyfriend that I had. He honestly wasn't the best person either, like, you know. I went to live with my brother. I broke up with him, the boyfriend, before I went to go live with my brother, but then I decided that he could come along, so we weren't really together, but we lived there and we were kind of together, I don't know. Then I broke up with him, and the fun starts to begin, guys. Sorry about that sad portion of my life, but I applied to go to study abroad, and it was my friend's idea. She didn't actually end up going, but it's okay because I had such an amazing experience. I met so many great humans out there. I studied abroad through my community college, which I didn't even think was an option, and I studied abroad in London. And like once you're overseas, like everything is just like, all the plane tickets to like all these places in Europe and all these different countries like are just so cheap. And so like we made plans almost every weekend that we were gonna go travel somewhere, and it was just the best experience ever. Those humans that I met over there, like I'm still friends with them today, but I just have the best memories with all of them, and I just love them all and all the time that we had together. And so I really am so happy, like, and grateful that I was able to do that. And so like thanks to my mom and stuff and everyone that helped me like be able to go study abroad, because it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And sadly, my phone that I like recorded everything on, like I think it just broke, and so I have really no footage or any like pictures or anything from that time. But it's, I mean, I have pictures on my Instagram, but that's really it. And then like my friends have videos, but I don't really have any videos. My camera stopped recording because I was talking for so long. Studying abroad was so much fun, and I knew, like, I obviously missed my family, like my mom and everyone back in America. And I missed America because London doesn't have ranch. When you ask for ranch, they give you mayonnaise or some other thing that's not ranch, and I just love ranch so much. And so I knew that when I got back, I wanted to basically have that in America. Like, I wanted to have my own life in America, because at this point I was still living at home. Like, I moved back home and I just, like, you know, was just not really doing what I really wanted to do, like be living my life. I don't know if that makes sense. But when I got back home, I had a semester still at home, but while I was away, I applied to different colleges. Like, because I was ready to transfer, because at this time I almost had my associates, and so I have my associates technically. If I apply for it, I can pay for it and get it, because I have all the credits for it. But anyways, so I applied to a bunch of different, like, actual colleges that weren't community colleges, and Washington State University was one of them. I actually thought that the school I applied for was University of Washington. I didn't know there was a difference. So I thought that if I got in, I was gonna be living like near Seattle area. And then when I got in, I was like, Pullman, like, where's Pullman? And so I looked up Pullman on YouTube and I was like, oh my God, it's such a cute little town. And then me and my grandma came to like a campus tour and I was like, oh my gosh, I love it here. So I decided to go to Washington State University, which is where I'm going now. And honestly, I don't even know like where else I got in, if I even got in anywhere else. Who knows? I can't remember. But I knew that I wanted to not live in California, and I knew that because I don't really like Southern California, no offense to you Southern Californians, but I like Northern California, but Northern California is really expensive. I love Oregon, I love Washington. Yeah, so I decided to attend Washington State University. It was a little over a year ago that I moved here, I think. And so, not here, not to this freeway that I'm at. But yeah, so let's talk about that, because there's so much to unravel in this past year that has happened. And so I decided to go to Washington State University. I was really excited about it. I was also really nervous because I don't know anybody in Washington State. But I'm so down for that because I was so down to make friends. And so what I did was, at the apartment that I live at, they have like individual leases. And so I decided to apply for a 3-bedroom that, you know, obviously the other 2 would be filled, and then I had like guaranteed friends. That's how I thought about it. And so I talked about this in other videos too. So then I discovered that the other 2 people that were gonna be living there had already lived there for a year. So that made me even more nervous, because I was like, they're not gonna wanna be my friend, they're not gonna wanna include me. But that was not the case. Like, one of my roommates like invited me out the same day that I met her, like to go hang out with her friends, which I said yes to, because I wasn't gonna say yes, but then I like thought about my Mimi, my grandma on my dad's side, and she's just like the most positive, like down, like to do things, like meet people, talk to people person. And so I had to like channel her, and I was like, yes, I will come with you even though I just met you, and I will hang out with you and your friends even though that's really scary, but I need friends here because I just moved here. So yeah, I went and hung out with her and her friends, and that was like my group of friends throughout the past, like not up to a year. I wasn't friends with them for a year, which we can get into that. But yeah, so those were my group of friends, and so I'm really happy that I went out that first day because it really like started the friendship. Like, and you know, friendships takes a while. Like in the beginning, it's like so awkward-ish, and you're like, you know, trying to be yourself, but you're also trying to like impress them so that they'll be your friend, and they're probably like nervous too because they're meeting you for the first time. And so yeah, we went to the Lentil Festival, which I am obsessed with, but you know, I've only been to that first one because COVID happened and they didn't have one this year, which is really sad. But lentils are the best ever. If you've never had lentil soup, you should try it. But yeah, we went to the Lentil Festival. That was so much fun. Yeah, so just Washington has been such a journey, and I've luckily like documented a lot of it, I feel like. And so you can kind of just go back and look at my videos to see all of that. Basically, yeah, I was just living my life in Washington. I wasn't really like dating anybody or like talking to anybody like for the first while, because I really wanted to focus on myself, because like I said, when I would start dating people, like I would just like focus on them and be like, it's all about you. And so I really wanted to like just be about me and do what I want to do. And so it was so much fun. Like, I had so much fun. I like went to all like the activities that I could, and like I went to sports games, and my dad came and visited, and just so much fun had gone down, and I was really like focusing on me. And then I did start talking to people, but I knew that like I didn't want to date somebody until I knew that like I want to date you for a long time, and you're gonna be a good person to me, and we're gonna work, and we're gonna be good together. And so I met Jackson. I don't know how much I should say, because I mean, who cares? Oh, Jackson's calling me. Speak of the devil. He heard me talking about him. So I met Jackson. He was one of the like people in my group's brothers, and so like honestly, like that girl would talk about, you know, her family all the time, and just like anytime she would talk about Jackson, I was just like, oh, he sounds so cool, like he sounds like we have stuff in common. Like in my head, I wouldn't say that out loud, but yeah, so I met him. You can watch our boyfriend video, like where I talk more about like, ask him questions like when did we meet and all that stuff, and when did we start dating. So we met October of 2019, like for the first time, but like I knew about him before then, obviously, because the girl, his sister, would talk about him. But he always had a girlfriend. Yeah, so up until March of this year, like he was always like had a girlfriend. And so I'm not really sure like the status of him and his girlfriend when I visited in March, because like I don't really know that, because he says that they were broken up or like on a break or fighting, which that's true, but I just don't know like if they were like dating or what. But anyways, so that was actually really nice of him and his sister and their family, because I was gonna be alone for my birthday because of COVID, because originally I was gonna go study abroad again. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. I was gonna go study abroad again to Ecuador. I was so excited about this trip, because it was gonna be like, you know, for myself, but also it was a service trip. So like we were gonna be helping like communities bring like clean water to them, and I was so excited about that. And like also my family, like everyone in my family like helped me like pay for that, and like they gave me money for like Christmas and stuff like that. Anyway, so that got canceled because of COVID. And so then my friend and her brother's family, Jackson's family, like said that I could come home with her and like, you know, celebrate my birthday, so I wasn't by myself. So yeah, she was a really good friend. Yeah, so her family is really nice, and she was a good friend of mine. And so we all went there, and we went out for my birthday, and while I was really swifty, I asked her if I could tell her brother how I feel about him. And she was like, what? I didn't know you have feelings for my brother. And I was like, yeah, I do. So I just thought I told her at one point that like, I think your brother is cool or cute. And I feel like I told my roommate. I don't know. Maybe I just kept that information to myself because I knew all this drama was gonna happen. So yeah, she was like, yeah, go for it. Go tell your brother. I mean, my brother. So I told Jackson that night, because he was our DD. He was our, what is it called? What does the DD stand for? Designated driver. Yeah, he was our designated driver so that we were safe, you know. And I was in the front seat, and I kind of briefly remember I was like, I love you. Really embarrassing stuff. And Jackson was just like, ah, ha, ha, ha. I think he felt really uncomfortable. I would have felt uncomfortable too. I'm sorry, Jackson. But yeah, I was just like, I love you. And so that was so much fun. And then like the next day, like I was with my friend that day. It was my actual birthday that day. And so we just hung out. And then that night, like, cause we were still gonna be there for a couple more days. And so that night, like, is when we really started like actually talking. And like me and Jackson, like we actually started talking, and like my friend was like fine with it. She said like, I wouldn't be giving you guys this much time together like if I wasn't fine with it. So we like, you know, got to know each other, you know, like flirting and stuff like that. And so then my friend and I were gonna go back to my apartment, go back to Pullman to quarantine, like to just, you know, hang out together, quarantine. And she invited her brother, she invited Jackson. And so that's kind of how me and Jackson got to know each other like so quickly, so fast, because we literally were living together, like not going anywhere and hanging out every single moment of the day. And so yeah, I had a lot of fun with him. Like clearly I'm dating him now, I love him. And so like if I didn't, then I feel like I would have known in those first 2 months, like, you're really annoying, I never want to see you again. And there definitely were those moments where, not where I was like, I never want to see you again, but where I was like, oh my god, you're so annoying, I need space from both of you. But I think that was just because we were so close. Like, my apartment is not that big, and so we were just like all in this little space and we couldn't really go anywhere. But yeah, that was definitely a fun time. But then afterwards, just drama happened, and that's why we didn't start dating until later, because I just wanted to like do the right thing that I possibly could, but it wasn't the right thing in everyone's mind. But it's okay. Everything happens for a reason. And so I went to go visit Jackson before I went home for like a month over summer. And while I was there, he asked me out, and I was like, yes, I will finally date you, because he'd been wanting to like make it official for a while, and I was like, I can't date you right now. But yeah, anyways, July 4th, no, that's 4th of July. July 2nd is when he asked me out, and I was like, yes, I'll date you, Jackson. And that was like a really big moment for me, at least, because like I said before, like the next person that I wanted to date, I wanted to be with them and I really wanted to like know that they were a good person. And so then I was home for a month, and I was just feeling really weird. Like, I was like fatter, and I was like sick, and like I would like have a drink, and then I would just like not want to drink more, and I was like, ugh, I don't really feel this. And so yeah, I kind of knew something was up, and so in my brain I like had a thought, and I was like, what if I'm pregnant? And I was like, I don't think I am. Like, that's so crazy. Like, I don't think I am. And I was like, but what if I am? And I was like, okay, well, if I am, then like I'm obviously gonna keep the baby. Like, there's no scenario where I wouldn't. I went home. Jackson came over to my apartment, like in Pullman, and just was so nauseous all the time. And so then I was like, Jackson, like, can you go to the store and get me a pregnancy test? And he was like, you think that you're pregnant? And I was like, maybe, I don't know, like, let's just get it so that I can kind of see, and then if not, I'll go to the doctor and like figure out what's wrong with me. And so yeah, I remember, actually, I'm gonna talk about this because it's actually a cute story. So I didn't take the test yet, because I like, when he first got it, I just didn't want to take it, I guess. And then he like, it was like really like windy outside. I remember it was cold outside, and he wanted to go skateboarding. And so he was like, do you want to come out with me? Like, I know you don't feel well, but like, you want to just like come out and watch me? And I was like, yeah, I will. So I got my little jacket on, and I got my boots on, and like I was like, I won't go all the way down the stairs, but I'll just like watch you from up top. And so I remember like going out there, and he was like, even just for a little bit you can. And so then I was watching him. Sorry, this is like mushy, but it was just so cute, and I have the memory in my little mind. And he was just I'm gonna cry. He was skating back and forth, and like he looked up, and oh my god, what is wrong with me? This is so embarrassing. He was skating back and forth, and I remember that he like looked up at me, and he had like the cutest little smile on his face ever, and I smiled back at him, and I was like I might be pregnant, I might not be pregnant, but I love him so much. Like, he's just so cute. I'm obsessed with him. Yeah, and so he smiled at me. It's so silly, like he just smiled at me, and I'm like, oh, my heart. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go take the test. So I went inside, and I was like, because he was going around the building, and so I went inside, and I took the test, and it was immediately positive. And I was like, and I think that's in the we're having a baby video, like where I'm like, that video, I'm like, because I was like, what? I thought it was broken because it was so quick, and I was like, it's supposed to take like 2 to 5 minutes, like 3 to 5 minutes, like why is it automatically saying that it's positive? And so then I took another one like right away, and that one was positive too, and I was like, what the heck? And so then I didn't tell Jackson right away. Like when he came back in, I was like, do you want to get more tests? And he was like, why? And I was like, well, because I took the test already, and it says that it's positive. And he was like, really? And he was shocked, obviously, because I was shocked too. And he was like, oh my gosh. And so then he got me more tests, but I waited to take them until the morning, and then I took them in the morning, and they automatically were positive as well. And then I was just like, oh my gosh. And so I told him, and I was like, am I actually pregnant? And he was like, yeah. And I didn't believe it. I was like, there's no way I'm pregnant. And he was like, Katie, I'm pretty sure you're pregnant. So then I made a doctor's appointment, but like the first one they had was like a while later. It was like 2 weeks later. And I was actually going on vacation, like coming up, like to go to camping with my mom and stuff. And so I was like, should I tell my mom when I get there or like now? Like, cause I didn't know what to do. Like I've never been pregnant before. And so then I talked with one of my friends who already had a baby, and she was just like, yeah, you're probably pregnant. Like you are pregnant. And I was like, but am I actually? And she's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure like your tests are all positive and like you've been feeling the same way that I was when I got pregnant. I was like, oh my God, this is insane, you know? Cause your life just like changes, especially when you're not like planning it and prepping it. And I like plan everything. And so, yeah, it was just like a big shock, and like me and Jackson didn't really talk about it. I was like, I don't want to talk about it yet until after I talk with my mom. And so we just kind of like were living together and like just, you know, hanging out, and he was taking care of me. And I was just, because I didn't believe I was pregnant. I was like, I don't think I'm pregnant. I really don't. And then I talked with my mom, and she was like, what are you gonna do? Like, I'll support you no matter what. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it, but this is just crazy. So like, we need to come up with a plan, because I'm a planner. And she was like, there's not really a plan. Like, you just do your life. And so, yeah, I went to the doctor, and there was a little baby in there, and she was so little. And I was just like, I started tearing up, and I was like, oh my God, there's actually a baby in there. And so, yeah, that's kind of the story. I don't know, that I probably talked for 90 years, but we're still just sitting here. We're not doing anything. So you're here with me. But, oh my God, is that guy gonna pee right there? This guy is like on another level. Like, what is he doing? He just keeps getting out of his car and like, he's gonna go chop down a tree or something. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so I definitely can make another video of more on like my pregnancy and me telling people and how I feel and just like how life is with that stuff. But I feel like I've talked for a long time already, and I'm kind of tired now. I kind of want to take a nap, but what if we start moving? But yeah, so that's our life now. I mean, I am trying to get into the education program, but I need this test. Hello. Okay, so I'm editing this video, and for some reason, I don't have like the ending clip of me like saying goodbye, and so I know it's kind of confusing, but I hope you guys did enjoy it. So if you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you have anything to say, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. If you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and subscribe. But other than that, peace out. Have a good day or night or whatever you're doing. Just do it right.
Bye.